But first question, Pastor Steve, is it says Trump met with North Korean dictator yesterday. Do you know about it?
Mm-hmm.
What's your take on it?
Well, what's my take on it? North Korea is a communist state. They've been isolated for decades, and their rulers have been just over the top as far as controlling of their people. Their people are starving to death, and these guys are spending money on nuclear weapons. And so I think anything that takes away the isolation of North Korea in the sense of, you know, kind of bringing them into the rest of the world as far as the rest of the nations go would be a very good thing for their people. You know, if you can get these guys to stop with the war footing and all that stuff. Their people are literally starving to death. And so I'm actually pretty encouraged for the North Koreans by what's going on with the meeting. I don't put a whole lot of faith in what happens in these things because it's all political, and Kim Jong-un is just trying to save his neck, basically, which is a good motivation. But if Mr. Trump can get the guy to stop and get these guys start acting reasonably, I think a lot of people are going to benefit from that.
Yeah.
I know just knowing something about the politics of the situation that, for example, China is one of the powerhouse economies in the world, even though they're still communist. And the reason that they are is because they're taking on a capitalistic economy. And so they're just cranking, and they're becoming a rich country, and that's one of the problems with North Korea. South Korea does, you know, they're doing awesome as far as their economy goes, and North Korea is just literally starving to death. And so if that can get turned around, then cool things will happen. And obviously, you know, less nukes is good, especially less nukes in the hands of
that
people.
guy.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
That's my take on that. As far as historically speaking, this is the first time that anybody sat down with a North Korean dictator since the Korean War in the 50s. And I don't even know if they did it then. You know, I don't know enough about the Korean War to know if there was ever a sit down between an American president and those guys. So it's historic, and it's a big deal.
It's crazy.
So I don't know that it's a huge deal for the United States, except for we spend money
cleaning up their mess.
We spend money on troops in South Korea and defense of those guys, and so that's where the good stuff will come from us if we can get North Korea to stop with the nuclear weapons. They're tied in with Iran, and that's a big deal. And so the Iranians are getting some of their nuclear technology from the North Koreans. North Koreans are trying to make a hydrogen bomb, and the Iranian scientists are right there with them. And so there's this whole thing that's going on behind the scenes that gets a whole lot better if these guys are for real. But, you know, with North Korea, there were talks between the North Koreans and President Clinton, President Bush, and Obama, and those guys lied to every single one of them. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.